Welcome to this week's video blog. Today I'm going to talk about the fundamentals, the basics, the boring things that no one ever wants to do. This week, all my athletes were asking me, when do we get to do weights? When do we get to do weights? When do we get to squat 100,000 pounds? And my reply to them is always, until you're technically sound, I'm not putting a bar on you. Now, it's frustrating for the athlete because every athlete wants to go from A to Z in about 2 seconds. They feel like my squat is fantastic and I should be able to do 600 pounds right now. And some athletes can do 600 pounds, but at what cost? Usually at the cost of breaking something. Hopefully nothing on their body, but it can be their vertebra, it could be their hips, it could be their knees, it could be their ankles. My general philosophy is if you're not technically sound, if you can't do 50 air squats technically perfectly, then you have no business doing any weights. Everybody wants to skip the fundamentals, but the fundamentals are important. The basics are important. I practice the basics all the time, and practicing those basics are going to help you advance your movement even more. And you can use this as a metaphor for just life and education. You should learn all of the basics first, be very comfortable with the basics, and then advance forward. All of the best professionals. I remember a story of Nick Lindstrom. He used to be the defenseman of the Detroit Red Wings. And the one thing that they said about him was that he would practice the basics every single day. And he was the best at doing the basics. And he was, by all accounts, a Hall of Famer defenseman. Now, this is what I tell all of my athletes, and you have to be patient. You just have to be patient. You have to learn the basics and continue forward and progress with the basics. Be very comfortable with the basics. To be a professional in anything, in any profession, you have to be able to do the basics really well. And once you do those really well, basic movements or basic theories or basic principles, and you have a good grasp of them, then you can move on and add some more complex, more advanced things. That's all I have to say about the basics. Remember, do the basics!